So good morning, everybody. My name is Christian Racca. Thank you for being here. I'm one of the organizers of this workshop this morning. So I'm really happy to say welcome in this session today. Let me share the screen in order to kick off this workshop. Just a few seconds. Well, okay. Now you should see the presentation. Well, welcome in this workshop session this morning, where the main objective will be to discuss about a very critical problem for European market, and particularly we will discuss about the digital skills shortage and the lack in the entrepreneurial professionals. Particularly in the data field. We will discuss about the problem. We will present some possible solutions, and we will open the discussion with our guests and with you that are watching at us in the streaming. I'm not alone, of course. So let me present the rest of the team, topics team involved in this workshop. Together with me this morning, Leonardo Camiciotti, Executive Director at Topics. He will co-host the session and he will moderate the panel guest. We also have Stefania Del Prete, Data Scientist at Topics. She will help you guys to interact with you during the session. And we finally have Chiara Bergeretti that will help us with the back office. I mean, with the management of the tools. Well, a quick look at the agenda. We will have a short introduction. Then we will try to set the problem as best as we can. We will have a video contribution by our friend Alberto Onetti from Mind Bridge Foundation and University of Insubria. Then we will have the core of our session, and particularly a panel discussion with the two special guests that we will present in a few minutes. Of course, at the end of this part, there will be space for questions from the audience and for your feedback. Well, this session will be interactive for real. For this purpose, we set up a tool, a Slido tool, in order to get your feedback, get your answers on some specific questions. But now Stefania can explain you how you can join and can participate in this session.
Yes, thank you, Christian. So you will have a tool. You can join from the link. You can share it in the chat as well. And what you can do is you can actually join directly in the chat, click on the link, or what you can do is also to just scan it from your cell phone. I hope you can see. So you will have two tabs. One is for the QA and one is for the question. So if you join the QA session, you can at any time add your question if you have any curiosity, or we can see different live questions. So in the background, Chiara will add different questions. Anytime that you can see a question in the Christian slide, you can scan it from your cell phone. Perhaps it's more comfortable than clicking just in the chat. And we will see some results. So the first of our question is, how energized are you feeling this morning? And you can see the live question, and you can just add your answer. I just sent it one. And we can see I'm pretty energized. Our team is pretty energized. Just a test. We'll see some 4, some 5. Okay, so that's how it works. You just click from the chat, the link, or you can just scan it from your cell phone. That is way more easier. Okay, we hope it's clear. I'll pass the word to Christian again.
Thank you, Stefania, for this explanation. Of course, this is a pretty stupid question, but we will have some more serious question later in our presentation, in order again to receive your contribution, your feedback about the topic that we will discuss in the next few minutes. So let me spend a couple of words about topics, just to say who we are and why we are here today. Well, Topics is a no-profit consortium. It counts right now 90 plus members, and we were 15 in 2003, so a big growth for us, even if we are still a small structure, about 30 people, more or less. Again, our consortium is made by public and private organizations, and we have two main missions. The first one is about the management of a networking infrastructure. We manage the Northwest Italy Internet Exchange, so we enable the exchange of data traffic among telcos, network operators, and internet service providers. And the second business unit is about promoting and supporting, from a technological and from a business point of view, innovative projects, leveraging our network infrastructure. We call this development program. And in this basket, since 2006, we did several activities and we did several projects. In terms of digital skills and training, we cherry-picked a couple of examples. First of all, the Academy, a program that we launched in order to provide coding skills to junior professionals, in order to bridge the gap between traditional university models and startup real needs. Then we have Big Dive. Big Dive is an intensive training program aimed at teaching data science skills, data science and data engineering skills, started in 2012. And finally, we had Civic Tech School with a slightly different target, and particularly we addressed the public administrators and civic hackers in order to create smarter cities. So let me show some numbers about those projects, even because they are great numbers. More than 50 startups supported with our academy, from the minimum viable product software development point of view. More than 200 students trained in our open editions of Big Dive, 9 open editions, plus several custom courses for organizations and corporates. We also had 2 spin-offs of Big Dive, one targeting the international cooperation sector and the other one targeting the sports sector with a football data analyst program. And even in the case of Civic Tech Schools, we had more than 100 students over 3 editions in different cities. Well, and this is a picture about the development program all around. I mean, as you can see, we supported an incredible number of startups, more than 400. Again, many courses, many corporate innovation projects, a few Horizon projects, tons of events, engagement activities, and dissemination projects. This is the development program. Well, we also are proudly member of EuroIX, this organization, the Association of European Internet Exchanges. We are day one member in Gaia X, this amazing project about our European cloud infrastructure. And of course, we are a member of BDVA, that is one of the main reasons we are here today. And we are supporting the European Commission Digital Skills and Job Coalition with our initiatives. Well, so this was a very brief introduction about topics. So we said who we are, and now we ask you, who are you, or at least, where do you work? Stefania.
Yes, so where do you work? We're very interested in know our audience. So it could be larger corporate, small, medium enterprise, startups, non-profit, university and academia, or not employed or other situation at the moment. So as always, you can check the link in the main chat, or you can scan the QR code in order to know. So we'll see that there is already some non-profits, someone in academia. We'll have a very good panelist about academia as well. And so we will leave it. We will leave the question for until the next question. So as you see the last question until the next one pop up. So we can comment some question also later on. Thank you.
Well, let's now dive into our main problem today. Well, I think it is more than evident that Europe is now facing a kind of structural shortage of digital skills, or at least numbers are saying this. Particularly, we have a lot of companies that are reporting difficulties in recruiting ICT specialists. That is a big problem. And even 1 out of 4 people in the workforce have low level of digital skills. That, again, is a big problem. If we watch at the Italian market, the situation is definitely not good. Looking at this report by European Commission about the human capital, you can see as the advanced skills level in our country is very low, one of the lowest in Europe. And as you can imagine, this is a big problem for our corporates because they have problems in finding the right people for some of the most emerging jobs. So we have to work, we have to act right now in order to solve this problem. Even because one of the main goals that European community set for the next future is achieving the 80% of the population having basic digital skills by 2030. And again, with this situation, this main goal is definitely at risk. So again, we have to work, we have to provide some solutions on this. Data talent shortage is a kind of problem in the problem, okay? Of course, we have seen the incredible explosion of data-driven professionals and data-driven projects, machine learning, data science, artificial intelligence, whatever. We observed this incredible growth in these trends in the last few years. But these generated a massive demand for those kind of professionals. And looking at the forecast, we are missing people. I mean, we will miss 500,000 big data analysts in the next few years. That is a huge number. And also in the top 3 positions, top 3 emerging jobs, we can see artificial intelligence specialists and data scientists that are strongly connected with data. And by the way, data scientist is the previous #1 position. Also, please look at the graph below, and you can see here the big gap between the job posting and the opportunity search on the market. Okay, this gap is pretty high, and it is a clear signal that we have to work in this sense in order to fill this need. There are, of course, many possible causes behind this problem. For sure, companies and corporates need some advanced skills. I mean, in data science, in data engineering, the basic level of skills in most of the cases is not enough. And moreover, companies and corporates are looking for people with some experience, some field experience. And in this sense, I mean, you can create more university programs, you can create more masters, but students and young professionals probably need a kind of gym where workout they are superpowers, and work out their practical skills in terms of data. Okay, so this is a possible explanation of this huge demand in the data market. But hard skills, data science, data engineering, in most of the cases are not enough. Our experience and basically the field experience taught us that in order to deliver successfully a data project, we need something more. And particularly, we need an open and agile approach. And furthermore, we need a kind of entrepreneurial attitude. Okay, this is the very key ingredients for a data projects, where of course we have a very high level of uncertainty. And today we can say that without innovation process we can't provide solutions. In particularly, innovation process without entrepreneurship cannot create progress at a societal level. The point is that in the next few years, we will face some very big fundamental challenges at societal level, like climate change, energy, the food system, sustainable supply of resources. Really, some of them are pretty evident already today. And in order to solve, in order to address, in order to tackle those challenges, we need the data-driven approach, and we need an open innovation approach and entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, so we need to put all these ingredients because we are facing complex systems, and moreover, we don't want simply a business growth. We want a growth that is global, robust, and furthermore ecosystemic. Okay, we need to put at the center not only the humans, but all the world, all the system. Of course, teaching entrepreneurship is not easy. It's not easy, and in certain sense, schooling and entrepreneurship can seem paradoxical. Okay, because one system is pretty theoretical, and on the other way, we need very hands-on experience, hands-on competencies. So again, teaching entrepreneurship is pretty difficult, and even in this case, we need a gym, a place where you can work out those powers. In this sense, startups could be a wonderful place to create those kind of skills and knowledges. Well, the other fact that now is evident even for European government is that we need startup. We must need startup. They are now representing an important part of our market. About 50%, if you consider startup and small medium enterprises, they are representing right now the 50% of our GDP, employing an incredible number of people, and also working on young people. I mean, people under 40 years old. But we can do better in supporting startup. Please look at the second line where it is evident the difference between the investment compared to GDP in Europe and in US. Okay, it is not a novelty, but and we are doing better than the past, but we can do better in the future. Okay. So according to all this situation, let me briefly recap the main problems that we put on the table this morning. If we watch at the corporates, they have those problems. I mean, to find, hire, and retain skilled people. Additionally, to access valuable data training in order to reskill or upskill their employees. That is another big issue. And of course, they have to implement, and for them, it's usually a challenge, an open and an innovative approach. If you watch the startups system, okay, they are facing bigger problems in hiring people because of the competition of the companies, of course. So for them, finding the right talents is an incredible challenge, and their main goal, of course, is to find customers and to scale up their business. If we watch at the young talents, that is the third component in this picture, again, yeah, they have to find effective and valuable training. This is another choice sometimes. They don't need only theoretical knowledge, they also need some practical, hands-on, real project experience. So the point is where they can create this skill, and of course we want that they find some inspiring job opportunities. Okay, so it's as you can imagine, it's a complex set of problems, and they are all interconnected in certain ways. We will see later how and how much. Well, before presenting, let me say, one of our solution on this set of problems, let me also show some possible responses, some real responses by the market, actually. Companies right now are putting in place many reskilling and upskilling programs. Most of them are internally or performed with some external partners. Some companies actually launched their own university, like in the case of Airbnb and Transwarp, that is an Asian company. Well, and this is a pretty evident signal of action, of response to this problem. If you watch the European community, well, as we can imagine, they put on the table a lot of money, and particularly the Digital Europe program that will be launched very, very soon, or at least the call will be launched very, very soon, put on the table 7.5 billion of budget in order to provide, in order to create skills in the field of supercomputing, AI, cybersecurity, and advanced digital skills in general. Furthermore, if we watch at the European Innovation Council, this is a tool created by the European community to support startup and small, medium enterprises. Okay, so we have a clear and tangible response by European community on this, on the problem that we have seen before. And even universities that will be very well represented in the panel that will be placed in the next few minutes, are working in order to solve this problem. So we have an incredible number of masters and programs, pretty new, that are trying to fill this gigantic need of digital skills. And in general, let me say that there are many data literacy initiatives in order to, let me say, increase the basic level of digital skills in our countries. Okay, these are some of the responses by the market, and after this long explanation, sorry for being maybe a bit boring, but I would like to have pretty clear the set of problems that we have to face right now. I will ask you, even to you guys that are watching us this morning, if you feel this problem in the same way. So, Stefania, would you set the question?
Exactly. We'd like to know if you're facing the same. We just have a look at the others. We saw non-profit, university, also big corporation. So what's your problem right now? You agree with this problem to solve, so you can vote again from the QR code or from the link in the chat that is shared now. And we want to know if your main difficulties in to find the new talents to incorporate in your company or non-profit. or if you feel the need to upskilling or reskilling the people inside your company. So that this topic is very, very fresh and is even more on point after the period that we passed last year. So we went more and more digital. And also if you need, as an individual or as a company, the need for a training, for digital training in machine learning, AI, entrepreneurship, and if you need more space for open innovation. So that's very crucial because we see that we need more talent. So the need of more talents, of course, is a problem of an ecosystem. And as mentioned before, also Christian, we work on the training side, also collaborate with the different initiatives. So we'll see, we leave this question open and we can comment later on as well. So we really need to know, pass the word to Christian.
Yes, Ian, again, we settled this problem and now it is time to talk about possible solutions. And now Leonardo will try to explain our vision in this sense that we are working on.
Yeah. So good morning, everybody. So thank you for being here. So of course, as Christian has highlighted, we have been involved in several areas during the last 15 years, I would say. So we have identified, of course, those three ingredients to be glued together. And the glue of these three ingredients, of course, will be, in our opinion, data. So this data-driven economy requires that in order to unleash value, you put together those three elements and you get value out of data. So this will probably be a model for addressing the data training, job placement, and challenge-based let's say topics, and could be a model that is very suitable for the European structure. As you know, that we are a lot of countries, sometimes fragmented, but we can, if federating or if we are able to collaborate, really create a lot of value out of these three elements. So we came up with this model. Of course, we are here in order to open it to discussion and to possibly refine and to find someone to collaborate with in order to develop and to implement it. Because, as said, we would like to see it in action, and this is the only way to validate models and to come up with a sustainable offer. So the model is articulated in 8 steps. Or the first one regards corporates. So the corporates should define a data-driven challenge and define also related rewards. Could be money prizes, could be consultancy contracts, could be whatever they might come up with in order to offer to the participants. And last but not least, I would say the most interesting part would be, if available, to contribute with specific proprietary data sets, which normally the startups and or young talents could not have access to. So that is the gold mine that could be put on the table. The startups could apply for the challenges proposed by the companies, and let's say the guys coming with brilliant idea in different sectors or in the sectors, of course, addressed by the challenges. And the young talents could come from different sectors, because we believe that in all data-driven related challenges, you need several competencies. It's very difficult here to find the unicorn talent that has all the capabilities in one person. It's probably a data-driven team and a diverse competence team is better suited to address those problems. So they would apply for the program, which could be 3 weeks training period plus 2 months project work, but the format could be adapted. And if they're selected, of course, they receive this intensive hands-on data training, because of course you have to know how to work with data, what to do with data, by teachers, mentors, and of course they could join the startup teams for the project work, So they would be the startup boost to some extent. It's like having a real-time stage in a startups, which is again the engine for innovation for corporates. So the startups, if admitted, of course, receive a boost by those data talents, and have, that startups always have to deal with scarcity as far as resources, not only financial but human resources are concerned. So if they come in touch with those data talents, but in general talents, this could be a fuel for future growth and of course recruiting. So going on, the corporates would have the possibility to interact with innovative startups and those young data talents. Again, this fuels the job placement market, but also the innovation itself. The startups face and solve companies' challenges, and they refine their value proposition. They probably sometimes they will pivot around this value proposition. So it's a real touching the ground experience. And the young talents, of course, will have access to those valuable mentorship by teachers, and they put in practice, I would say sometimes hard practice, because startups require to be fast and concrete, these theoretical knowledge. So the startups and the talents present their solution to the companies. So the corporates will have a constant flood of disruptive solution to their challenges, and there's direct contact with the startups and talents ecosystem, which should be a bit less structured, a bit more liquid, fluid. So I think we have to tear down those borders between those three elements and make something which is always there. So it's kind of a constant innovation boiling pot, right? So you go there and you're jumping in something which is alive with all the problems and advantages that it can bring. So the top solution will be rewarded by companies, and the young talents probably will access to job market with a very valuable on-field experience. So they could later on join a corporate because they like it, or they're liked by a corporate, or they could love the startup experience and being hired by one of them, or even become a founder of a startups. The funding schema for it, but this is again an hypothesis that must be refined, and we would love to do with you. The corporates would contribute with a sponsorship fee. The startup could participate with no money contribution, and the young talents could be paying a training fee, which also could be subsidized by scholarships. And of course, this might receive supported by institutional players like local government, European Commission, or some other institution, the EU foundation that might like, or they're active in these areas and might like it. So they could have a seed funding. Okay, here, if you think out of this project as a startup, so you need to validate the model, to refine it, and then to make it sustainable. So it could take 1 to 3 years in order to make it stable. So I hope this has been clear. We'll have, I think, and I hope the chance to discuss it even later on. If you have questions, of course, you're free to ask. And now it's time to open the discussion to our wonderful guests. And we'll start with a video contribution by Alberto Netti, who is chairman of Mind the Bridge, an association who is dealing with startups already since more than 10 years. And by the way, he's also a professor at the University in Subra dealing with innovation management, and he has been part of different startups himself. So please go on with the video.
Hi, my name is Alberto Netti. I'm the chairman of Mind the Bridge. Today's topic is quite a topic, asking about how universities, startups, and established company might collaborate together to boost innovation. It's quite a hot topic, and I have to say that I don't have a definite answer. I just can provide you a couple of insight and inputs, at least which is my train of thoughts about this topic. First of all, startup corporate collaboration is a must. It's what is today defined as open innovation, And I think the positive news, the good news, that everywhere in the world, including Europe, including Italy, startup-corporate collaboration is considered a must, something that has to happen. And there are more and more models that are actually emerging and are starting to prove efficacy and the ability to produce results in terms of collaboration between startups and established companies, in terms of potential investments from corporate established companies into startups, as well as sometimes to potential M&A and acquisitions. So the model of startups that start working with corporates is a model that is more and more widespread, and that is becoming a standard in the industry. There are no longer companies, established companies, that are not considering to innovate through startups, or they are considered to play solo, just using their internal R&D effort. Playing solo is not an option, because no company in the world, whatever the size, whatever the industry, whatever the geographies, might have the ability nowadays to innovate internally. And so collaboration with startups is a must. Is no longer an option. It's something that has to be done. And the good news that corporates has got it, and they are definitely doing it. University is a different topic, because again, universities since forever has been working with established corporates, particularly with the R&D department of established corporates, because corporate, particularly large corporates in each country, has a certain way subsidize university research. The problem is the kind of results that has been originating from such collaboration. That, again, at least based on my knowledge, are not that much. And the reason is that R&D units are not the right unit to work with external players. And universities most of the time work on innovation areas defined by corporates using a university research approach. So very, very long-term approach that is not conducive to results, because the problem of collaboration between universities and established corporations is that it does not produce any kind of results. The other potential originator of innovation coming out from university are what are defined as a university spin-off or university span-out, meaning a startup company originating from inside universities. And in here in Europe, the results are not exceptional. While in the US, I can name a lot of famous company that has been originated inside university. Again, just to make a few names, Google and Yahoo are spin-off out of Stanford, as well as in a certain way also Facebook has been originated in Boston out of Harvard. I have to say that in Europe and in Italy, results of this kind are simply not existent. If we look also the data of the European spin-offs, probably with the only exception of the UK, there are not particularly good results. So that tells us that something is wrong in the collaboration and something has to be redesigned. How to, honestly, I don't know, but probably a bit much more pragmatism, maybe trying to replicate the concept and the models that has been learned from startup and corporate collaboration might probably be a good idea to try to do something more conducive to results also inside universities.
Yeah, so thanks indirectly to Alberto, of course, and now we come to the live discussion with our amazing panel, and I would like to let's say to invite on the virtual floor Professor Mina Iso-Murso from the University of Olo, and Ana Moreno, who is professor at the Universidad Politécnica de Madrid. And together with them, we'll try to go a bit deeper into this interesting, we hope, interesting item and topic. Try to figure out whether there might be room for what we see as a wonderful opportunity to take hold. So welcome. both of you, and thanks for being here with us. So with you, I would like to start trying to validate this problem, right? So as typical for startups, we also have to ask ourselves whether this is the problem that we perceive, that we observe is real. So I would ask also to you, which are the main challenges for corporates, and corporates could be both large corporates, but also SMEs, which is the heart, I would say, of the European industrial structure. And the startups, of course, are facing regarding what we have been talking about. So the scouting, recruiting of artificial intelligence data talent. So let's say the competence that are needed in this, I would say, exponentially emerging sector, and how a better connection and collaboration between say the university and private work in terms of training could support these realities in trying the impactful solution and social changes. So I leave the floor to you. Of course, I would like, say, to be the more interactive, the better. I mean, it's we have to try to make it very alive and I would say cozy atmosphere. Okay. So Mina, if you like to start.
Thank you, Leonardo. Very, very nice to be here. It's interesting setup a bit with the graph that Christian showed earlier. Italy being the lowest in the digital skills, Finland being the highest end in the scale, and Spain somewhere in the middle. So we have a good setup of a panel here right now. And I must say that even though Finland was at the highest end, the problems you've been talking are very similar for us. So we are not that much different, I think, anyways, even though the graphs showed differently. So my name is Minna Isomursu. Isomursu actually means a big walrus, so the animal with the big teeth. And I'm here in north of Finland, in Oulu. Oulu is about 200 kilometers south from the Arctic Circle, which means that I'm missing the 2 hours of sunlight that we have here at this time of year now, talking with you. It's like -10, lots of snow, very lovely and Christmassy here in Oulu. I'm a professor of software engineering, so I'm in the Faculty of Information Technology and Electrical Engineering, and I'm teaching software professionals. So my research and our education is on how to make software more efficiently. So this topic of this panel is very relevant for us. How we can develop our education and research so that Europe will have the talents we need to make the digitalization happen in Europe. And I'm gonna just say a couple of words to start the panel with about data skills, what I think is happening, and what I think should be happening with data skills education. Starting a couple of words about the current situation, which very much aligns on what we've already heard with other talks today. So that in Finland also there is a huge pressure from society to get more educated software professionals, industry, and also public sector, which maybe hasn't been mentioned earlier, like healthcare sector, digitalization of public administration, and so on. They are also demanding more experts and software professionals to increase the digitalization of the society. And startup sector, everyone are in problems getting talent, and everyone is kind of shouting to us at the university that train us more professionals, we really need them. But for us, it's not as simple. It's not only, the solution for us is not just to grow intakes, because we can't get many more students. There are no more people here to recruit. The teenage population that are about to enter university is going smaller. all of them don't want to study to be software engineers. So there's just no more people, no more students to take. So we are taking everyone that we can, and we are facing this problem that how do we get more people to study software engineering? Some answers for that could be to increase the inclusiveness of the education. For example, in Europe, we only have 15% of software engineering professionals females. So there's lots of improvements. It also shows in our education. It's very male dominant. We have trouble getting female students, lots to there. Also, we are aiming international markets. So we are trying to get students from abroad. For example, we are teaching software engineering in collaboration with a Chinese university. We have 100 students starting every year studying software engineering in China, and we are doing collaboration with them. In that regards, we have one major problem, that even though we can get international students to the university, the employment of those international talents after they finish their studies is not as good as the Finnish speaking students. So there's still lots to do in the inclusiveness of the studies and the profession after they get graduated. Then we are increasingly seeing that the data skills are multidisciplinary, which also means challenges for the university, where the degrees are very monodisciplinary. So it's not that easy to make multidisciplinary degree programs, but we are in a process of doing that. For example, we have ongoing data skill educations that are collaborations between different faculties. So that's also currently happening. Then, so in regards data skills right now, I see that there is quite a nice, good established education in database data management type of skills, and also in machine learning and AI. The courses on that side are pretty established. They've been run for tens of years, and we pretty much know how to teach that. But then there are other skills that are maybe not as established yet. For example, AI skills have become attractive for students who come outside of ICT disciplines. Like, for example, we have a business analytics program and ongoing efforts to wrap up AI for health type of education. So these kind of educational programs require multidisciplinary cross-faculty master's educational programs, which are not as easily established in the university. So what I think we should have, so we should deepen interdisciplinary education and smoothen the educational pathways between faculties and between disciplines. That's something that requires kind of internal development inside universities. Then we should be looking at data spaces as a more holistic concepts, and not only the analytics side of data. We should be looking at how to design for data spaces, how to build skills where the students can operate in ecosystems that work on data spaces and so on. So only looking at how to use the data and how to run algorithms of the data is not enough. We need to have a more holistic understanding of data spaces in regards of education. And then making the profession, the IT profession, more inclusive for all, including genders and nationalities and all sorts of people. IT as a profession, digitalization, data professions should be inclusive. So what are we doing at the moment? We are, or what I think we need in Europe is a European data spaces education strategy. And I think that in a Digital Europe program, we have good tools for establishing such. I think that because in Europe, we have kind of value-based ideas on how data should run economies and societies. We think our understanding and values for using data differs from the American corporate run value structure, and it differs from the Asian Chinese surveillance policy type of values. We have our own value base, how we want data to run societies. So I think that should reflect in our education strategies, and the European universities should have like common vision on where to go there and collaborate on getting an education strategy on data spaces. And this strategy should adopt and advance European data economy principles. And then we should have like joint efforts to support mobility inside Europe of our students and integration of data, European data profession to get our young talents and teenagers and startup enthusiastic to get excited about the possibilities and opportunities on this area. Then just a couple of words about these other sides. So that was about university education, but then also, as has been pointed out, there is a lot to do on the building the digital skills of our citizens, of everyone. Every European citizen. We've done some research and kind of awareness work on building digital skills of school children here in Finland, and here is a kind of one tool in establishing this. We've done in collaboration with Sitra, and you can see the URL there in the end of the slide. So this is a questionnaire you can do online, and based on your answers, the questions are designed to trigger you to think that how do you behave as a data citizen, and what sort of actions do you do in your everyday life that define how do you use your data, and what sort of role you take in data economy. And now we are in the process of developing educational content with the Ministry of Education here in Finland to teach digital skills for school kids already age of 10 to 12 in the Finnish elementary schools. So this is also something I would be happy if you would have a look and maybe contact us if you would be interested in collaborating on this area of research. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mina. I think you gave us also a lot of additional inputs that I think we'll discuss later on. So I would like also to give the floor to Anna and ask her also to give us her view about this first topic. So the first step in validating the problem of those challenges of corporate startups and education, and how to establish this connection. Please, Anna.
Thank you, Christian. Hello, everybody. Good morning. I'm happy to stay here and share these interesting ideas with all of you. Just a few words about myself. I am a professor at the Universidad Politécnica de Madrid. in Spain, and I teach software engineering, software project management, agile methods. But from the beginning of my educational career, I have been very interested in how to improve the education of our software professionals, and how to bridge the gap that exists, that have been existing for the beginning between academia and industry. So I think that this panel is also a very good opportunity to discuss some ideas and share with you some initiatives that we are doing at the university. So let me share my screen. Okay, here. This. Okay, so I would like to start my presentation explaining which is the situation in Spain about data technologies, in particular about big data, artificial intelligence, cloud computing. So here we have some data from a white paper that was presented recently about which is the industrial adoption of these technologies in Spain. So as you can see, either in big organizations or small, medium-sized enterprises, the adoption of these technologies is very similar to the European Union. So we have 80% in big organizations, and the European Union is 17%. 6 in the small, medium size, 6 in the European Union average. Okay, so very, very similar. So we are in the middle of the on the curve as you presented, Christian presented at the beginning. So about the technology that is more used is the combination integration between machine learning and big data. And about the industrial sectors that have adopted this technology in a wider position, we have tourist organizations, tourist companies, ICT organizations, and then transport and electricity. In any case, they in this report, in this study, it is very highlighted which is the most pressing challenge for the organizations, for industry nowadays in Spain, and is the shortage of talent. So there is a huge problem because they don't have enough training people to address and to adopt and to implement these technologies. Again, we have here another study that was done by the Spanish Observatory for Analysis and Economic Development of the Internet. And then they identify two main risks for artificial intelligence in Spain. One of them is the combination of the respect for citizens' privacy and anonymous data rights with the innovative use of data and open data. But again, we have the problem of specialized work. So the need of talent, people trained in artificial intelligence, data technologies is evident. Okay. So what happened in this context? We have a lot of courses here in Spain about data science, big data, machine learning, any kind of technology related to data technology. We have a lot of courses in formal education. I mean, in the universities, different bachelors about data science and artificial intelligence, and master programs have been developed in the last 5 years. But we also have a lot of courses, a lot of organizations that offer what we call non-formal education, that are short courses about this kind of technologies. So which is the situation of in companies? Professionals want to be skills or what they want to be retrained in these technologies, and they find a huge offer of courses. It is very difficult from them to know which is the best course that they should choose. So which is the course that best suits to their needs, duration of the course, competencies of the course. So there is no way, it is very difficult, in fact, to compare these courses and decide which is the best for each situation. And what is the situation in industry? In the human resource departments, they receive the curricula of the different potential employees with different courses that have been provided by different organizations. But they don't, in this human resource department, they don't know about the quality of these courses. So they don't have information. If it is a university course, they assume, okay, it is an university, the course will be accredited by a national agency. Okay, so we can assure some kind of quality. Okay, but for example, in non-formal education, with a lot of courses, a lot of organizations providing these courses, it is very difficult for a human resource department to know which is if this potential employee has been trained properly or not. So I just wanted to share with you an initiative, project in which we work. It was the Big Data Value Ecosystem project. We have the URL here at the bottom of the slide. It was a CCA project that finished last year, and our role in this project was to design and implement a data science skill recognition framework. So the idea was to create awareness in academia, in organizations, and also amongst professionals about the need and benefits to have a common recognition framework for their skills, okay, for the skills of the employees or for the skills of the people that is working in the different organizations. So we tried to address this aim in both areas, let's say in formal education and in non-formal education. So what we did in formal education was to propose an open batch approximation. So the idea was that universities, institutions could apply, in this case to the BDDA or any recognized organization, to issue open badges for the students. That is universities need to pass some kind of accreditation process in which recognized organization, maybe at European level or it should be discussed, okay, at which level, a kind of accreditation about the knowledge and skills that they provide to the students to confirm that these skills are needed by industry, okay, are the skills needed by industry. So we can fill the gap between what industry need and what the universities are providing. Once that these universities are issued to give the badges, so they teach the courses, the university courses, either bachelor programs or master programs to the students. And when students finish, the universities issue the badge to the student, okay, it should be an open badge. And these students could show this open badge in their curricula. So when they go to industry, industry can be aware about the skills that this student has gained during this formal education. During the project that, as I have mentioned, it finished last year, we made a pilot. We made a pilot with 2 universities, one university in Greece and another university in Spain. And we follow all the process for being accredited, issue the badges to the students. The students could show the badges with their curricula. So we define a more or less a formal project and a standard project to be followed. And as I have mentioned, we did a pilot with a couple of universities, and the idea is there, okay? So the project just finished. So what we did after this, the end of the project, was to try to negotiate with the BDBA how this could be institutionalized in some way. Okay, regarding non-formal education, as I have mentioned, we have a lot of courses, lot of organizations that provide courses with different duration and with different domains. Some courses are online, other courses are not online. So it is very difficult, okay, for professionals and also for industry to know about the quality and the characteristics, simply the characteristics of the courses. So our idea was to generate what we call some kind of educational label. As you can see here in the image, we have this kind of labels, for example, for nutritional products, for nutrition, and it's the first label. So we can, if we go to the supermarket and we want to buy cereals, for example, we can see in the cereal boxes, we can see this kind of labels, so we can compare at least some attributes or some characteristics of the product that we are buying. Okay. Similarly, for example, for energy consumption, we buy 2 freezers or whatever machines or that we want to buy, and we can see these levels, this energy level, and we can compare and we can see which one, according to these criteria, at least which product suits better for us. So the idea was to generate a similar label for the data science course, creating what we call the BDB data science training label with basic information about the course, the information about the duration, about the course, and the competencies, the main competencies provided by the course, the kind of training, the language, the cost, and so on. So the idea would be that the different courses that could be provided could have this kind of level. So it would be easier for professionals who want to get training, and also for industries that receive the curricula of the different potential employees, to know about the courses and to know about the kind of training that they have acquired. So as I was mentioned before, the project is finished last year, and now what we are working is how to continue with this framework. The other topic that I would like to share with you is about entrepreneurial education. As we have here at the beginning of the presentation, and I fully agree, teaching entrepreneurship is very difficult. So it's not easy at all, mainly for the teachers or the professors that we teach technical aspect of the computer science curricula, because we might be training in whatever, that data analytics or machine learning or agile methods, but we have not been trained on entrepreneurship and innovation issues. So it is not straightforward to incorporate entrepreneurial education in this kind of programs. So what do we do at UPM? At UPM, we have been participating from 6 years ago in a consortium, or in an organization which is AT. AT is the European Institute of Technology. The European Institute of Technology is an organization that is funded by the European Union. And the aim of this organization is to promote entrepreneurship in Europe. They work in different domains. They have the AT Digital, they have AT Health, they also have AT Climate. So they have like different areas or different domains in which they are working on. This AT organization, they have like different action lines, okay? And one of the action lines that in which they work to promote entrepreneurial more entrepreneurship in Europe is education. So we have developed a master program on innovation. Let me say before that this AIT organization, the partners of these organizations are the universities and are companies in Europe. So there is more than 17 universities all around Europe. And I don't know exactly the number of organizations, but all big companies belong to this organization. There are also startups from different countries, okay? So there is like a very interesting ecosystem of both research and educational institutions and companies. And in this consortium, we have developed a master program on innovation. And the idea of this master program is to focus, or the difference between this master program and other master programs that we can find is the innovation and entrepreneurship skills that we provide in this master program. So we have a minor on innovation and entrepreneurship, and then we have a technical major. This technical major addresses different disciplines like big data, cybersecurity, human-computer interaction, and so on, okay? But the important thing here, or what I think that is interesting here, is the idea to provide an innovation and entrepreneurship minor that is common to the different disciplines, to the different technical disciplines. So this minor covers soft skills like communication and teamwork, and also knowledge about how to develop, how to create an enterprise, which are the different industrial sectors, or which are the difference, which are the main characteristics on innovation, or how to do a business analysis, a marketing analysis. So these are skills and competences that are common to the different technical specializations, or to the different technical areas in which we are going to work. So let me show you a little bit how this I&E innovation and entrepreneurship education is incorporated in the program. This education is integrated in the technical specialties, okay? So all students start with basic I&E courses, okay? These are theoretical courses about innovation and entrepreneurship. They have some electives, they have business development lab, then they have a summer schools, and then they finish with an I&E study. So this entrepreneurial education goes from starting with the most theoretical concepts in the basic I&E courses, and they finish with an I&E study, which is a business case proposed by an industry. So, and it is mentored by a professional from the industry, where they propose the business case. These industries are industries from the consortium, okay? So they can be big organizations, or they can be startups or other smaller organizations, okay, that are interested in presenting a problem for the students, and then the students work addressing this problem. Then the students, in general, what usually happens is that the industries that have proposed these case studies offer to the students the opportunity to do the thesis, the master thesis, and in general they make a contract at the end for the studies. Okay, so it is for us it is a very interesting opportunity for our students to merge the technical contents of the different courses, in this case, for example, it could be the big data or data science, with the entrepreneurial education with an active participation of industry. The interesting thing is that the students should do these courses in two different countries. Okay, so they start in one country and they finish in a different country. So they have the opportunity to know. They have the opportunity to know how is the industry working in another different country where they have born or where they used to live. The ecosystem that is offered to the students in terms of universities, but I think that mainly for them in terms of industries, it is very important. And I think that it should not be possible for them to have these opportunities if they do a classical master program. Okay, so it's also true that this kind of programs they are not suitable for all students. So they are especially of interest for those students who have an entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, it doesn't mean that they have to create their industry just when they finish the master program. But I think that it is important to have this occupation in mind, so this idea in mind, and to have the knowledge, because at some moment the opportunity may arise. So they have to. It is important for them to know how to address all this process. And that's all. I think this is all I wanted to share. Yeah, and the other interesting thing that we tell to the students is, okay, if you don't want to create your own company right now, it is okay. But this knowledge that you are going to obtain, it is also important if you want, for example, to work in a research department, in a big organization, or in a big industry. Okay, all the skills that you will get will also be valid, because for some students it is not easy for them to say or to think, okay, we are going to create our own company just when we finish. No, this is not the usual situation. But we try to tell them that even if this is not their case, this knowledge will be very important and will be very interesting for them in their next future. So that's all from my side. So I am open to your questions and discussion. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Anna. So you both touched a lot of items already. So I now leave the floor for a while to Stefania for the last question to the audience. So Stefania.
Yes, so very quickly, we ask you a question for you, for the audience, before I do a last round of questions for our panelists. What do you think would be a possible obstacle for initiative involving companies, startups, and universities? So this question is now live. For a person that joined now, you can scan the code displayed right now or the link in the chat. So we want to know this question, and remember that there is also the tab for QA. So if you want to add the last QA question, we'll have a little time, otherwise we can reply you later. Thank you. So now I'll pass the word to Leonardo for our last round of questions for our panelists. Thank you very much.
Yeah, given we're coming to the end, I would ask you basically the same question. You know, so what do you see could be based also on the experiences and the examples that you have in your own countries? What could be the best practice on the other side, the challenges in order to have an initiative which glues together at European level, the companies, the startups, and the universities. So, and given that we have presented our approach, which is very hands-on, so very practical to be on concrete challenges, what is your recipe or advice for that? So, Mina, could you please?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I fully agree that there is more need for this sort of ecosystem collaboration, that parties come together to design education and also deliver it. And I think one practical obstacle, or one thing that's needed, is some sort of like facilitating organization, because especially for companies, it might be no one's job to kind of collaborate on the design of education. So I think having facilitating organizations who bring in parties together and create a space for especially on the design side. I think then more on the delivery, when you actually have an existing course and an existing curricula, it's easier to kind of collaborate and come up with roles for different parties. But especially on the design phase, when you are trying to create something new, a new curriculum, new educational modules, then you need those facilitating organizations who bring actors together, especially if it's not just national, but a European collaboration, that there are parties from different countries. Then running this thing, running the collaboration process needs skills, so that are probably not existing in companies or startups currently.
Thanks. And Anna, what is your view also, given that you already mentioned some examples internally in the university, but also you referred to some experience. So what do you think about this possible collaboration and the rollout of the possible collaboration?
Mm-hmm. Well, I fully agree with Mina. The let's say bureaucracy is very difficult, and it is not easy mainly for companies that they have a very short time. They have to provide results very quickly, so they need very quick results. So I think that in this case it's very important for them to see which is the added value of this collaboration, and to perceive that this added value will be get very quickly for them, okay, because they have to do an extra effort for doing this kind of collaborations. So I think that they should be very clear. It should be very clear for them which are the benefits of this kind of collaborations, because for universities the benefits are evident, so we don't have any problem. We are always looking for for collaboration with industry, but industry, I understand, it's more difficult for them. They have to give results, they have other priorities. So I think that making visible which is the added value for industry of this collaboration is very important.
Yeah, thanks. So I before leaving the word also to Christian to go to some conclusion and takeaway, I do personally think that there are a lot of very valuable initiatives. I mean, the BDVA, the Aero is a clear example of that, and now also they're joining forces, by the way, with the Gaia X, so the Data Space Business Alliance. Mina mentioned the importance of dealing with the data space. So I mentioned that could be also a very big area which could be dealt with not only by corporates, like is being done now by, for example, Gaia X or of private, but involving also startup and universities, possibly being I don't know how to say, but a shadow boost, so just letting also them being involved in some possibly focused challenges, possibly the big challenges. I think young people love now they show it everywhere. They love to tackle big challenges. So I think that could be a good place and to go hand by hand with other major initiatives. So I would ask also Christian to jump in and reflect also with our speakers about what are the conclusions and possible takeaway messages out of this interesting session.
Well, thanks, Leonardo. For sure, we do have a lot of work to do. I mean, in the next few years, I see this interesting intersection between corporate startups and universities. Of course, we need to find the proper languages between among the different stakeholders, even because usually they are used to a different timing, let me say. I mean, at least this was in the past. So we need to align all this timing on the same page. Also, and this is a kind of a last very quick question for you guys. We need to find the right answer to the market. I mean, we need to find a match between what is the market need and what is the university offer, in order to create a new course, I don't know, on data collaboration or data spaces. We also need students that ask those topics, and of course we need to create the demand for these new topics. So it is part of the data literacy that we have talking about. We are all discussing or talking about data space, Gaia X, data sovereignty, but probably it is a kind of bubble. I mean, we are just a few people talking about those topics. For the majority of people, those words are nonsense. So we need to create a proper culture on this. Well, by saying thanks to our speakers, I also ask to our public and audience if want to, let me say, briefly add their own takeaway for this final session. So even again, using our Slido channel, you can leave your takeaway message for this session. After this, there will be a prompt where you can, if you want, of course, put your email in order to stay in contact with us. The idea is not creating a newsletter and not providing any kind of spam, but having a real follow-up on these topics in the next few months. So we will treat your data in the proper way. And finally, as a final request for our audience, please don't forget to evaluate our session, because we strongly believe in the power of feedback. So again, put your rate and put your feedback on this final session. You will find these last few questions in the Slido channel here on the same link. Well, I think we are definitely at the end of this session.
I would ask, sorry,
yes.
Christian, whether Mina and Anna have a very last final message or reflection that came up to their mind before saying thank you and bye-bye to our audience. So Mina?
Well, a call of action is always a good thing to finish things. So if you are interested in development of European data spaces education, contact me and maybe we can do something together. And thank you for inviting me. It was lovely.
Thanks, Mina. Anna?
Yes, thank you. I fully believe in these European data spaces together with industry and universities. So Mina, I will contact you. And I encourage, of course, everybody to contact. Thank you.
We do definitely believe in this area. We think there is a huge opportunity. See, we will make all the possible and impossible not to waste it, because it will. It is strictly tied to the future of the next years, really. So we will definitely stay in touch with you, and we hope to get in touch also with the audience and with the ones that the audience will talk to in the future. So I would thank everybody. I don't know whether from my colleague there is one final message that they want to deliver. Apart from a big thank you and best wishes for the coming holidays, by the way, so we get the chance to say that. So stay healthy and stay in touch, and talk to you in the next occasion. Yeah.
Have a good Christmas time.
Yeah.
Thank you.